For the first time in Winter Olympic history, it'll feature 3 world champions from the last 4 years. There's the Canadian Brian Orser, great technical skater, and certainly he'll have the support of the hometown fans. But 2 acrobatic skaters, America's Brian Boitano and the Russian Alexander Fadeev, could steal the attention. Barry Tompkins picks up the story.
He's the 1985 world champion. He's Alexander Fadeev of the Soviet Union. He lost to Fadeev in '85, but beat the Soviet and everyone else to become the 1986 world champion. He's American Brian Boitano. He placed second to Fadeev in '85 and to Boitano in '86, but beat both to become the 1987 world champion. He's Canadian Brian Orser.
It's such an opportunity for all Canadian athletes, having the Olympics in your home country. And with me going in as a world champion, that's even a bonus. So, I mean, it just sort of seems to be one bonus after another, and everything is sort of piling up perfectly for me, which sort of gives me ideas and what I have to work for, and everything seems to be falling in place perfectly.
Brian often boats on Lake Simcoe near Orilla, Ontario, his hometown, and where he met the only coach he's had since he began skating seriously just before his 9th birthday. Brian Orser was the 21-year-old Doug Lee's first pupil.
I had a good feeling right from the beginning. There was definitely qualities of flamboyant, quick. It was like a colt coming out of the barn, a real thoroughbred. And naturally at the beginning you can appreciate, you think you see something, and then after that it takes the years of development.
He sort of took me under his wing right then and there. He saw that I had some talent, and we knew nothing about figure skating and how to progress and what steps to take, and he seemed to know. So we sort of put all our trust into him, and then he took it from there.
A trust that's helped Brian win 7 consecutive national titles.
Probably the key time in saying that this guy has got the chance to be a world champion would be 1981 at our first Worlds, when he was 6th in his first Worlds, and there was talk that, Brian was almost like the skater of the future, and I think that was a spot where we were really able to sit back and go, okay, reality has really hit, and the opportunity and the chance is there for us to create it and bring it all together. So he has progressed all the way through from 6th, 4th, 3rd, 3 silvers, and now getting gold. So we were continually being able to build and always had the confidence and knowing that we could do it.
The youngest of 5 children, Brian now lives alone in a waterfront condominium.
I think I lead a pretty normal lifestyle once I get away from the rink. The scene at the rink is like a job, and I go in in the summertime. I'm there at 5:30, and I go and I do my thing there. But when I come back from the rink, I like to lead a normal lifestyle.
Normal, yes, but careful too, both on the ice and with his diet.
I stay away from red meat during most of the year, and I'm very, very strict with myself. I eat a lot of fish, a lot of greens, a lot of raw vegetables.
Such habits led him to a partnership in what he hopes will be but the first of several restaurant investments.
I like the restaurant business. It runs parallel to my lifestyle because it's fresh and it's healthy and it's good for you, and that's sort of what I live and breathe right now. And ran over there.
Long before it was renamed the Brian Orser Arena, it was here that Canada's finest skater shaped the powerful cutting edge and seamless flow that typifies his style, a style honed by both Coach Lee and choreographer Ushi Kessler.
I've always had something special for figure skating, and I like the feeling, and what I work with Ushi, with the edges and that flow and everything. I like searching for that. It's really hard to explain. It's almost like flying, the feeling that you have when you finally attain this feeling in the edge. It's a certain quality of skating that we're going after, and it's not something that's very common in skating. There's very few people that have this certain quality.
He worked 5 hours on getting the perfection of this.
So that's something that we've been going after for a number of years. And when I first started working with her, I spent 5 hours at one time during one session just trying to see what she was talking about and trying to discover this. And then from there, when I finally discovered it, I just kept going with it. And each year and each season, you're always discovering new things that you can do.
Second to Scott Hamilton at the '84 Olympics, Orser thinks he's now found the key to winning in '88.
Mentally, we have to be at our peak at the Olympics. And I have to go to the Olympics knowing that I'm going to be skating my best performance and not going there in a hoping mode. I've always said that I would never retire until I won the Worlds, because I knew deep down that realistically I could be the best. Now the Olympics is a whole new ball game, and it's a novelty, it's something new. It's not like going from one Worlds to another World Championship. I'm going from being world champion now going right immediately up to the Olympics. So I'm sitting in the driver's seat, which is really quite nice.
Known for years as, quote, the skater of the future, the question is, was Brian Orser's breakthrough triumph in '87 a harbinger of Olympic gold for him in '88? '84 gold medalist Scott Hamilton is next on the road to Calgary. Without fully understanding it, Olympic champion Scott Hamilton shows us the jumps that made him a winner at Sarajevo in '84.
I think one of the most difficult and frustrating parts of being a figure skating fan is what people often ask me. They say, what are the difference between the jumps? I hear Salchow, I hear Lutz, I hear Axel, I hear Loop, I hear Flip, I hear Toe Loop, all these different jumps, and I don't know the difference. Well, I think one major point that ought to be considered and always remembered is that all the jumps are the same in the air and the same in the landing. The only thing that makes each jump different is the takeoff. Now I'm going to show you 3 takeoffs: an Axel takeoff, a Salchow takeoff, and a Toe Loop takeoff. And I'm going to explain the difference between each jump and what makes them unique from each other. First, I'll show you an Axel. Now, if you paid close attention, you saw that I took off going forward. An Axel jump is the only jump in figure skating that takes off forward. The next jump I'll show you is a double Salchow. Now, Salchow is a funny name. It was named after Ehrlich Salchow from Sweden. It's an edge jump. You're taking off of an edge. A backward inside edge. Takes off, rotates twice in the air, lands on the right foot. The air position and the landing, always the same. Takes off an edge, air position and landing, always the same. The third kind of takeoff I'll show you is a pick jump or a vaulting jump, a double toe loop. The double toe loop is the simplest of all the vaulting jumps. I'm skating on my right foot, I reach back with my left foot, rotate twice in the air, land going backwards on my right foot. Now I've just shown you 3 different takeoffs, but what makes these jumps difficult is the number of rotations.
Scott Hamilton won 4 consecutive world championships, as well as Olympic gold with jumps like these. But will his heirs have to do even more to win in '88?
Who knows, maybe in Calgary we'll see 4.
And here's a man who will certainly attempt to do just that, because 1985 world champion Alexander Fadeev's greatest strength is his awesome leaping ability. We talked to the Soviet in Cincinnati, Ohio, about the importance of the 1987 World Championships.
I look at the World Championship as a measure of how I will perform at the Olympic Games. Of course, it makes no sense to show everything at this performance, and I'll keep something back for the Olympic Games, because there's still time to prepare before the Olympics.
Fadeev did not attempt a quadruple jump at the World Championships and finished third behind perennial rivals Orser and Boitano. We asked him about his training priorities prior to the Olympics.
Well, the ones I'm doing at the moment are, of course, triple jumps, 2 triples and 2.5 triples, and of course the quadruple jump, which I have to be able to do very confidently.
The 5-time Soviet champion changed coaches after a disappointing 1986 season, and we asked if it helped.
If I thought it would make things worse, I wouldn't have gotten a new coach. I think, of course, it will improve things. In the first months of my training already, it has shown results at the national championship. Since last year, where I performed rather poorly at the World Championship, my training has been devoted to the free program. I've changed it. I like training a lot more now. You say I've become more independent.
He looked like a skater in transition at Cincinnati. If he can climax his transformation with successful quadruple jumps in Calgary, Fadeev could win in '88. More after this. Is American Brian Boitano. Boitano has been dominant in the United States since Scott Hamilton retired after the 1984 Olympic Games at Sarajevo. Brian combines Fadeev's leaping ability with Orser's sense of style.
In order to compete technically with the other men in the world, I've been concentrating on quadruples, doing different kinds of quadruple jumps, and I think the man who wins the Olympics will have to do the quadruple jump along with every other triple. And I think that's where everybody's concentration is going to be, not just mine. And hopefully by the Olympics in 1988, I will be able to do every triple and the quadruple consistently in competition.
Just practicing quadruples puts tremendous strain on the body and risks serious injury.
One aspect that is usually my strong point is the athleticism. Style is what I've been trying to combine with the athleticism in the last few years to try to be an all-around skater. In an Olympic event, figure skaters come to the competition with all the regular athletic attributes, but they perform in a world that is on the far side of theater, and that's what makes it so difficult.
That's why when not competing, he trains here, 5 hours a day, 6 days a week, near his home in Sunnyvale in Northern California, with his coach since childhood, Linda.
A major element that goes into a performance is choosing your music.
Let's listen to Elvis first.
Okay, do you want to hear Blue Suede Shoes? To get a theme in your mind and to find the music that best suits what exactly you're looking for is very difficult and takes months and months of preparation. Have Blue Suede Shoes or Jailhouse Rock first.
First of all, Brian has to be pleased that he feels he can express the music himself. I have to be satisfied that I can listen to it every day for a year. It has to be something that we feel will appeal to the judges, and we want a broad audience appeal.
All the way to the side, good with the head.
I think finding a style or having a choreographer find a style for you is important.
Choreographer Maurice Stinnett has worked with Brian since 1980.
The problem lies in trying to not camouflage, but trying to find the work or the choreography that fits best with the program, but still gives you that edge to keep the momentum and keep the athleticism going through the whole program.
Brian, on this, was perfect today.
It was?
Was perfect today.
If a choreographer were to give you something that just wasn't right with the program, the whole program can be ruined.
Yes.
When I set a program or help Brian set the program, I set it from the viewpoint of where the judges will sit in the arena. So we're really pleasing the judges first.
I would like her to stand up here where the judges are going to be, because it makes a difference to me, being behind your back, how I feel about the move.
We want to get the audience behind because the energy from the audience helps him perform better and can influence the judges' marks. but their own particular viewpoint from sitting close to the ice and from that particular side is most important.
Because they can tell when they're behind you, and then the whole audience can see it too, from anywhere.
Brian has always been a tenacious perfectionist. Even these old home movies attest to his tireless sessions in the dark of his local rink.
What prompted me to go into ice skating is that I used to roller skate around the neighborhood as a child. I mean, from 4 on, I'd be 5 hours on the sidewalk just jumping around and being a maniac. And finally, I saw the Ice Capades, and I decided this was the thing for me. You know, all the costumes and everything, all the people skating on the ice. It was, I guess, glamorous. And ever since then, I've been skating. After about 5 weekends, I met my current coach, Linda Lever, and I've been with her ever since.
Linda's always been more than a coach. Brian's the godfather of her youngest child, Lindsay, who feels as much at home with Brian's mother, Dorothy, as Brian does with Linda, his longtime mentor and most trusted friend.
Yeah, you're catching on. I think what makes a good coach is definitely a personal relationship with the student.
Look how cute. You were so little there.
With Linda, I know that she cares equally about me and my skating as much as I do. It's rising, huh?
It's more than just, I think, a normal coach-athlete relationship because of how long I've known him. I guess I would say it's closest to a parent relationship.
That's more different.
Do I look better now or then?
You look better then.
Brian is a very special person to me. We've spent a good portion of the last 15 years together, probably 5 to 6 hours a day, 6 days a week, working for a common dream.
Good. Good shoulders. The shoulders were the best they've been in the program.
I'm always going to be interested in his progress. I'm always going to be looking for him to become the best that he can become. It's very important for me to be the coach of a world or an Olympic champion.
Linda and Brian agree that he'll need a breakthrough performance to win in Calgary on Canadian rival Brian Orser's home turf. That means risking breakthrough-like quadruple jumps, like performing on a high wire without a net. Although Boitano has the quadruple and unparalleled determination, Orser has the current world title and the home edge, while Fadeev has the new coach and attitude. Look for a hot shootout in Calgary.
And there he is, Brian Boitano, one of the big three in men's figure skating, one of the big three Australia's Cameron Medhurst will be taking on in the Winter Olympics, which you'll be able to watch exclusively here on the 9 Network.
To becoming theater. Light as air Russians Marina Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko are ranked second in the world. Canadians Tracy Wilson and Rob McCall finished third before the Russians at the last 2 World Championships. For their own countrymen, they hope to do even better at Calgary. But it'll be tough to beat these charismatic 3-time world champions, Natalia Bestemianova and Andrei Bukin. Ice dancing has graced the Olympics since 1976, and with the exception of '84, the Soviets have been dominant. Watching the lyric grace of this particular Russian team, one senses a closeness that goes beyond strong tradition and impeccable technique.
You know, in ice dancing, you should be on excellent terms with your partners. Otherwise, it is impossible to express in ice dancing the feelings that you have. In every ice dance couple which managed to achieve some high results in ice dancing, we believe that for a certain time maybe the partners fell in love with each other.
Sergei and Marina fell in love for more than just a certain time. As man and wife, they prospered both on and off the ice, with a bronze medal at the '84 Olympics and a silver at the last World Championships. Now that they have each other, they say as one, the dream of our life is to win an Olympic gold medal. Here's who the Ponomarenkos must beat to win at Calgary. And that's a tall order, because fellow countrymen Natalia Bestemianova and Andrei Bukin have been absolutely dominant in ice dancing since the incomparable British duo of Torvill and Dean turned pro after the '84 Olympic Games. Their comic cabaret-like theatricalism won them a third world championship in 1987. According to Andrei, it's a style that suits them both temperamentally.
Eleanor, for us, the most important thing is to express our emotions, to express the spirit. We don't think that for spectators it is very interesting whether we do this or that element correctly or not. We can do it perfectly well, but if we concentrate on technical aspects of our performance, it wouldn't be interesting for the spectators. But if we are in high spirits, we're good at technique.
What you're seeing here is in complete contrast to the theme of lyric yearning that earned them a silver medal in Sarajevo. They've obviously gone to school on Torvill and Dean's gold medal performance of '84, when show business won out over tradition. Can the Canadians defeat the favored Russians in ice dancing? We'll find out when the road to Calgary returns after this. Tracy will truly believe their countrymen could lift them to a breakthrough performance at Calgary.
Bob and I really feed off the audience, and that is the #1 thing.
Performers.
Yeah.
And I think that we look towards technique first, because you can't do anything unless you have good technique. We don't want to just go out and be flashy and try to hide our technique. We want to have the good, solid basis to work with, and then we can go on and we can be artistic. And I don't think that we think of ourselves as athletes who try to be artistic. I think we think of ourselves as artists who have to be athletic in order to do what we do.
The road to a gold medal is built one brick at a time, and Rob and Tracy continue to piece together what they hope is a winning performance in a Toronto skating rink.
The best way to do it is simply by using how you feel, by putting music on and just going, okay, what do I feel here? And sometimes if you have good instincts, a natural ability for choreography or whatever, then it just comes to you, and that's what we've always done.
The Canadians are going to beat us next year.
I think if we really got a little serious with it and started to sit down and think about it first before we sort of fooled around with it, it would be more difficult for us.
It's exciting, and it's also very scary. Because on the exciting part, you just put on the music and you go, and you've got so many ideas, and go. And then when it's scary is when you have to start setting it, and you think, oh, is this good enough? And then you do it, and are you doing the right thing? Is it getting? And you can't get any response from anybody because it's in such the early stages that nothing really looks good. You have it only in your mind, and so you just kind of hope that, and you figure, if you work hard enough, it'll come through.
See, what I was wondering, if this could end up this way. Now watch.
We both have to have a concept of things the way we want them, and the thing that's good about that is that you get twice as many ideas coming in.
But now you can keep.
And I think I said to Tracy at one point, oh, I wonder if Leonardo da Vinci painted the Mona Lisa and then went back and painted the smile, right? And that's sort of the idea. You get an idea somewhere, and then you go back and finish up the first part or whatever. So it's always, there are some parts that really get you stumped, and it is, sure, it's difficult, but I think it's probably my most fun time of the year and what I like to do the most.
We'll practice 5 seconds over and over and over again just to get it right out of a 4-minute free dance. But it's exciting when it starts, when you start to get 10 seconds together, and then 20 seconds together, and then the first minute. But that's exactly what it's like, starting and just building.
What that means in this Olympic year for Rob and Tracy is dedicating 8-hour days, building the blocks they hope will pay off in Calgary. They almost quit after the '84 games. In '88, lots of Canadians should be glad they didn't. Wilson and McCall have long been thought to be the most innovative ice dancers currently competing. That crowd-pleasing talent remains their best chance to delight their countrymen at the Olympic Saddle Dome in Calgary. Bestemianova and Bukin have been together for nearly 10 years, and by now their championship form is almost seamless. Should they falter, then the lyric magic of Klimova and Ponomarenko could prevail. At Calgary, after the compulsory dances and set patterns are done, each team will get 4 minutes of free dance. That's when ice dancing can transcend competition to become theater. That's worth waiting for.
The ice dancing, one of the most dazzling events, we'll be bringing you from Calgary in February, when the 9 Network will take you there for our exclusive coverage of the Winter Olympics. We're very excited about that, of course, and nowhere else in the world will you get a more informed coverage on events like the ice dancing than you'll get here, because our commentators at Calgary will be the greatest ice dancers of all time, the legendary Torvill and Dean. The European networks, the American networks, they were all after Jane and Chris to join them, but the only one they wanted to join was our Wide World of Sports commentary team, and the only place you'll be able to catch them is here in Australia. Okay, tomorrow night in our next episode of The Road to Calgary, an intense competition, headlined this year by 2 world champions who come to the Olympic Saddle Dome to fight for 1 medal. Katarina Witt of the German Democratic Republic and Debi Thomas of the United States. Their backgrounds literally a world apart. Their goal, a common one. And if they should lose so much as an edge, right behind them, about a half a step, are Caryn Kadavy of the United States and Elizabeth Manley of Canada, certain to be a local favourite. Figure skating, a beautiful sport with a most lucrative reward.
Calgary's Olympic Saddle Dome, where any one of 5 women figure skaters could win at the '88 Games. It could be the elegant Katarina Witt, current world and defending Olympic champion. Or the charismatic Debi Thomas, who defeated Witt at the '86 World Championships. Or the vivacious Jill Trenary, who beat Thomas at the '87 U.S. National Championships. Or the classical Caryn Kadavy, whose strong third at the '87 Worlds showed championship potential. Or the dynamic Elizabeth Manley, who could skate the performance of her life when lifted by the applause of her Canadian countrymen. At a time when Elizabeth Manley was struggling, Coach Peter Dunfield saw something others did not.
What I saw was not what I envisioned. I talked to her, and I found that in her experiences and in her voice and desire, there was a great potential, untapped potential, and I felt that she could really do it. That summer and that fall were very productive, and that winter, she made the Olympic team, which was amazing. There is nobody in Canada in her league.
Elizabeth trains and lives amidst the small city ambiance of Ottawa, and that's just fine with her.
A lot of people feel I'm biased about about my love for Ottawa. I've been everywhere in the world, and I've been a lot of places in Canada, and it's not because I live here, but I love Ottawa. It's beautiful. It's like being in the country, right dead center downtown. We have the canal, the Parliament Hill. It's full of parks, and I love Ottawa. There's a lot of things you can do here. It's always a go-get-'em city. There's always something to do. You never feel bored, and like I said, you can feel like you're in the country right downtown. I am recognized here in Ottawa for figure skating all the time, and it's mainly because Ottawa does not have a lot of very big athletes. Like Toronto would produce 10 or 15 skiers or something like that alone. The Olympics being in Calgary, in my home country, is going to be an advantage for me. It's going to be an advantage for our entire Canadian team. A lot of people feel that that's too pressure building, that the crowd makes us uptight in that, but I don't take it in that way. I take it the opposite way. I take it that they want me to do well, and they only want a good performance out of me. And I almost look at my performances now as a show, and being in front of my home country will be just phenomenal to skate. It'll be great.
This crowd-pleasing 22-year-old looked like she was ready to medal at the last World Championships, and might have, but for a man who plies his trade at the Broadmoor Arena in Colorado Springs. Carlo Fassi, molder of 4 Olympic champions, has amongst his latest medal candidates Caryn Kadavy, Manley's conqueror at the World Championships, who shares ice time and Fassi wisdom with another world-class teenager, Jill Trenary. Trenary came from a Minneapolis suburb and Kadavy from Erie, Pennsylvania to train under the master. Even though their coach gets paid handsomely for his efforts, you don't choose Fassi. Fassi chooses you.
The first time I saw Jill was in a competition in Southwestern, and I came on the ring and struck me because she looked exactly like Dorothy Amo. I mean, I couldn't believe it. The way she was skating. So she struck me really as a very athletic skater, very strong. I think I'm fairly good to see on some of the skaters what I think can be the future of them.
Being a world-class figure skater often means giving up home and family at an early age. Jill lives in Colorado with legal guardians, Patty and Bob Mars.
When I decided to take it seriously is when I moved away from home. I think that's the biggest step. I mean, because that's a big sacrifice to move away from your family. When I decided to move to Colorado Springs, Patty and her husband Bob were just willing to have me move in and just kind of take me in as a daughter, and to really, you know, care for me and take care of me, make sure I eat the right things, you know, make sure I don't stay up too late, those kind of things. And, you know, they just really have become my surrogate family. It's as close to a family as I could ever think of.
I always make these lined up.
For the Olympics, it would be great to win. I mean, that would be fabulous. And between now and then, I just really have to train hard. It really starts now. It doesn't start that week. It starts now.
A man who has molded Olympic champions for 20 years when the road to Calgary continues. Peggy Fleming's lighter-than-air 1968 Olympic triumph brought figure skating master craftsman Carlo Fassi his first great coaching fame, after he'd competed for years as Italy's preeminent skater. Fassi immigrated to the United States in 1960. Over the past 20 years, he's coached 4 Olympic champions. He had back-to-back men's champions with John Curry and Robin Cousins. And in 1976, he had double gold medalists when Dorothy Hamill won the women's title. Fassi's passionate, some would say compulsive attention to detail is evident on and off the ice.
I have many hobbies, unfortunately. My wife said I have too many. I have a stamp collector, which I have a fairly good stamp collection. I like to build model ship, which I did some fairly good, but now I can't do it anymore because I don't see too well. And 4 years ago, I started to play golf, and that's killed all my other hobby. We play golf all the time, from morning to night, and that's it.
You are not like that. You are all like this when you are there, leaning in. Stay on that hip, and then go down, go to the sit-in. Come on.
Sometimes it's wonderful to see even everyday work. You see a little girl, 2 days ago, a little girl that came from Finland and couldn't do a double axel, and suddenly, boom, the first double axel. You can see the smile and I did it, you know. And I think this is probably the most rewarding thing that I think every teacher can have that feeling and that rewarding. Sometimes it's disappointed. You work in 1 year and the girl is doing beautifully, and it goes there and bang, everything fell apart. That's part of the job.
One who didn't fall apart, Caryn Kadavy.
Exactly.
I made it to Midwesterns in junior ladies my first year in 1984. And at that competition, Carlo Fassi was there. And after that, I did not make it to nationals. And I've been trying for so many years, and it just seemed so hard. And Carlo Fassi gave me a call after the competition and invited me to come out and train with him, and he wanted to teach me. I've been training with him now for 3 years, and it's been great.
Look, don't drop the shoulder. You know, I think of myself like more the making champion than finding. The example I think was Caryn. I saw this girl, and contrary to all the opinion of all the coach that we were at that time at that competition, I thought the girl has potential, and I really talked with the parents, and she came here, and I think that was a girl that probably nobody thought could never do anything. 2 years after she was on the world team, 3 years after she was 13th world.
I feel that the person who's going to go out there and do that consistent, long program, clean, no mistakes, is going to be the winner.
Caryn's search for those 4 minutes of perfection has meant a nomadic life. While her dad works in Erie, Pennsylvania, her mother, a former ballet dancer, attends to her needs in Colorado Springs.
My mom is one of my best friends, and she's been with me through my skating. She's been the one who moved with me from the start when I was 13, and she's there for me anytime and is really a big help. She's helped me so much.
Caryn and I are best friends, and we have a lot of fun together. We have mother and daughter fun, also teenage fun. Caryn helps with my hair. We go shopping together. We love looking at clothes, makeup, all those girly things.
Wow, it's glamorous. Looks great. Skating's been a part of my life for a long time. It's like going to college and not finishing up your last year, and this is how it is in my skating. I feel this is the last point of my career, and to give it my best shot is the most important right now.
To graduate, however, takes a family effort.
I firmly believe that without our strong faith in God, we could not have done what we have done as far as living apart as a family, as far as your financial struggles, when you do have an aspiring star, champion, etc. And I know that our faith in God has really helped tremendously in the last 3 to 4 years that we've been away from home. And without him, we couldn't have done it.
The defending Olympic champion, can she do it again? We'll see when the road to Calgary continues after this word from your local station. For student, world-class figure skater Debi Thomas has come to Boulder to train for gold for the 1988 Olympic Games.
I do like the move that we've made. It's been the best thing that could have possibly happened to me. I feel so much more relaxed, I think, than if I had been at Stanford. I would have been trying to do pre-med, and I would have been really stressed about the courses.
The lateral collateral is strong. You don't have any torn ligaments. You have no torn cartilage.
I'm taking a general sports medicine course. It's a grad school course. The prevention and management of sports injuries, which is really fun, and beginning German, which I'm having a blast doing. And I'll be able to speak to Ekaterina a little bit.
That's Katarina Witt, her East German rival.
I love languages, and there's a lot of languages that I want to learn. When I was on the tour last year, Sergei Ponomarenko was helping me with Russian, so that's how I learned how to read it a lot better. I created the Russian font on my computer so that I could write to him on my computer.
Alex McGowan, Debbie's coach for almost a decade, has made the move to Colorado with her.
Debi Thomas is a very independent person. She likes to get her own way a lot, so I have to clamp down on her a little bit on that. But a strong will to do schooling and skating against all odds has mainly put her where she is. At times she's too independent. Being too independent probably cost her both her titles last year.
I'm head case, and I have a hard time dealing with Olympic syndrome. And I'm still working on it, and I'm going to fight it and try and get through this. It's not that long. I mean, this year is going to fly by. And if I can just hold it together these last few months, then I'll be fine. When you're still in the training phases, everything frustrates you. When you can't do something, it's just frustrating. You just want to scream. You go from nothing, and you just keep working, and you keep falling, and you fall, and then all of a sudden you're doing it, and you land it, and all of a sudden you're doing your program. And it'll come, but I just got to be patient with it. Basically, this year's program is sort of Debbie showing everybody how artistic she can really be, because I feel like I haven't been, I don't know, viewed fairly on my artistic side, just because I know I'm capable of a lot more. And after we started working with the dancer, George De La Pina, all of a sudden we started seeing a lot of things come out of me. He would tell me what to feel rather than what to do, and that helped me a lot. Not only did it just help the way it looked, but it even helped with my big combination jump at the beginning, because all of a sudden I was attacking it like a tiger instead of thinking of it as, oh God, here comes triple toe, you know. So basically, watch out, people, if I go clean on this program. The Olympics is something that it's sort of like a final thing for me. I've already been a national champion. I've already been a world champion. I've never been an Olympic champion. And Olympics not only means a lot to me, but it means a lot to our country. And we haven't had a ladies champion since Dorothy Hamill. And I really feel, with the way things are going, that I have the best shot to do that.
When electrifying East German Katarina Witt won back her world title from Thomas in '87 on American turf, Debbie acknowledged, "That girl's amazing."
I may appear to be relaxed and loose, while inside I'm tense, fluttering, and excited. But then, when I go out on the ice, and my music starts, or I hear applause directed at me, my tension subsides. Gradually, the excitement passes, and I try to forget that it's a competition, and to concentrate on the people, and simply put on a good show. I think every woman likes to flirt with young men, and I've tried to bring that out on the ice, and it's fun, too. That is, I try to appeal to the people, the audience, and I often find it easier to interpret the music if I pick out certain people to look at and flirt with as I'm skating. I began skating when I was 5. My kindergarten was right here, close to the skating rink. We used to come here often in groups to watch, and I liked it so much that I began to nag my parents and say, "Oh, there must be room for me." At first, however, my parents didn't have much time for it. But I wanted it so badly that finally, one day, they came over here with me, and I was able to get started and made my first steps on the ice at the age of 5. I came to Mrs. Mueller when I was 9. She discovered me. She must have seen a little talent in me, and she let me join in her training group. I have Mrs. Mueller to thank for everything I've accomplished on the ice. I also believe, and many will agree with me, that she's the best coach in the world.
Katarina's singular talent and beauty have made her a beloved national hero while attracting Western interest as well. But she hasn't let offers to model for American magazines distract her from the task at hand.
There is a great deal of competition. To start with, Debi Thomas, Kadavy, Jill Trenary, and the Soviet athletes Kara Ivanova or Anna Kondrashova, or the Canadian Elizabeth Manley. The Olympic Games will be held in her native country, so I expect strong competition from there. There are really quite a few of us who have a good chance at a medal, or even at the gold, and the best of us will once again prove themselves.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who'll be the best of them all? It could be Trenary, Kadavy, Manley, or Thomas. But the favorite has to be the defending champion, the truly amazing Katarina Witt.
Yes, Miss Katarina Witt, the lady to beat, and certainly the lady to watch at the Winter Olympics in Calgary, where I think you'll find she may very well wind up the Queen of the Games. With Jane Torval and Christopher Dean doing the commentary, while that lady does the skating, I tell you what, we've got something very special to look forward to. For now, though, that's it on the road to Calgary. We'll be back tomorrow night with...
World in pair skating ahead of Falova and Vasilyev, the defending Olympic champions. Their pursuers, certainly Americans Watson and Oppegard, should not be ignored, while Canadians Benning and Johnston could delight their countrymen at Calgary. An aerobics class in Kitchener, Ontario, where effervescent Denise Benning works out with her partner Lyndon Johnston, 6 years her senior.
Denise and I started, I guess it would be about a year and a half ago. My former partner decided to take a year off, and I was very fortunate to have Denise right there to be able to fill the spot. It seemed to click as if we've been skating together for years.
Denise, an honor student from Windsor, Ontario, loves the limelight.
The artistic side of skating is what I really enjoy the most. I guess I'm a natural performer. I love to get out in front of a crowd. And when I started skating with Lyndon, I found that he was also artistically inclined that way, and it really came together well.
This National Pairs Center has nurtured an ever-increasing number of world-class skaters, thanks to veteran coach Carrie Leach. Unfortunately, because of injury, Canadian national champions Kuhl and Rosen will miss the 88 games.
So still, to me, does not come around to a focal point.
Denise and Lyndon's basically are more of an artistic pair, but have a great line. As far as weaknesses go, Benning and Johnston have got to make sure that they have the difficulty in the program.
Right, that's lovely. Now do the next little bit.
Since judges today look as much for theatrical dash as they do for technique, a top choreographer is a must.
Right, there. Yeah, and really, don't look at her there. Okay. Look up. So that you start here, but then, yeah.
More emphasis today is being given to making the entire 4.5-minute long program dramatically convincing. With most top skating pairs doing essentially the same tricks, the artistry to build the crowd to your advantage means more these days to international judges. Consequently, your look takes on added weight.
When you're out there skating and it's a whole package, you really want to look good. I know with myself it takes a lot, but a costume helps.
Like your costume has to tie to Denise in the same. Hers has got a time to use so that you look like a total package.
Okay.
Our designer, Jennifer Shane, works with us in developing ideas and designs for our costumes. She was a skater once herself here in Kitchener, and she knows what our likes and dislikes and what our preferences are, and I think that really helps when she comes up with an overall design.
You know, you have to make the statement at the very beginning.
5th in the last World Championships, Johnston thinks they're much better now.
We have strong throws, strong lifts, but for us, a near-perfect routine would be the ability to go out and really perform different and unique moves to really catch the judge's eye. I would think that would be, for us, the perfect 6-0.
It's very hard to get a perfect performance. I don't think that you can actually attain perfection. It's just a feeling of satisfaction and having your feet underneath you and coming off the ice and feeling like you've done everything that you can do.
Coach Leach thinks the Russians have an edge because of the judges' expectations. But if his kids turn on the Canadian crowd, anything can happen. The American pair, Jill Watson and Peter Oppegard, when the road to Calgary continues after this word from your local station. Americans Jill Watson and Peter Oppegard are the gypsies of pair skating. Both originally paired with others. They had 5 coaches. They've trained in California, Toronto, Detroit, and Denver. Now they're on the upswing after their surprising 3rd-place finish at the '87 World Championships.
Right from the beginning, in 9 months, we were national champions, and there was immediate pressure at the World Championships to do well. And the hardest thing was just knowing that you can't always be as consistent as you want to be, as a perfectionist would want it. And that's probably the hardest thing, is just giving yourself a little leeway for mistakes.
We had to sit back and realize that what we were achieving was something pretty special. Jill and I would take one giant step and say, well, that's nice, let's take another one. Instead of kind of sitting back and enjoying what we've done, taking a look at it, and then deciding how gradually to proceed. And I think we've learned that since then, too.
This is what you come together. Who's like this, that kind of feel.
Early morning at a Detroit arena.
Our choreographer, Rita, is really in key with us. We're able to create a theme and a character and try to portray the anger or the love or the passion that this character may have.
I think we can show in this section. The nice thing about Rita is that she's very much in tune with the ideas that we have on the ice, and she'll expand on them creativity-wise.
What was really great for me was the way that Jill and Peter can get into the program and forget one part about the details and find more of the artistic part of it, and yet do the difficulty.
As we develop as people, we develop different aspects of ourselves, and as we become more successful, we see different sides of each other. We're experiencing new pressures, new tensions, and how we deal with that and deal with each other becomes very important. And hopefully by the time we get to the Olympics, we've trained our bodies and our minds well enough that when we step on the ice, there's not any diversion from our plan. We just go out and skate as we have trained.
This is the kind of consistency that distinguishes Gordeeva and Grinkov, the '86 and '87 world champions. We found the reigning Soviets spectacular on the ice and charming often, as they successfully defended their title in Cincinnati.
I like to compete. I like the spectators, and I feel happy if they enjoy my performance. Well, I think it's a long-cherished dream of every athlete to participate in the Olympics. You know, it is very difficult to speculate about the specifics of Olympic Games because we have never yet participated in them.
But their fellow countrymen, Falova and Vasiliev, could speculate, since they won the gold at the '84 Games in Sarajevo. Except for the emergence of the youthful Gordeeva and Grinkov, they'd be favored to win it again.
In pair skating in particular, the athletes have already achieved such heights in technique that it is practically next to impossible to improve the technique any longer. And the possible way out is to improve the artistic impression. And the success at Olympic Games will depend on how well the pair and the coaches will be able to combine these elements and how beautiful this combination will be.
With most of the scoring based on the long program where one misstep can bring heartbreak, there are no sure bets. Still, it's sure tough to bet against the Soviets.
Yes, the Russians, what great figure skaters they are, and most certainly they are the teams to beat out there on the ice at the Winter Olympics in February. Talking of teams, our commentary team at the skating throughout the Games will be the incomparable Torval and Dean, who have chosen to work exclusively for the Nine Network in Australia. Nowhere else in the world will you be able to hear them, and we're very excited, and I must say very proud about that. Okay.